So I'm sitting here with Kathleen Felix. Oh, I forgot. Hagar.
Hagar.
How you doing? You are. I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are the costume. What's your official?
My official title would be Costume Designer.
Costume Designer.
Yes.
Which means you make everybody on Dexter look good, scary, sexy.
That's the
dirty,
goal.
Otherwise, whatever.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
To sort of interpret your vision, the writer's vision, the written word, into a visual.
Yeah, you save us, in other words, all the time.
I'll take that.
Yeah. So I thought what we could do here is sort of talk about, first of all, how you got into this whole thing. There's a lot of people that want to do fashion, costume, whatever.
Yeah, I got into it in a little different way than most people. I got into it out of sheer desperation for a job at one point in my life. Yeah, and I was fortunate enough to work on a film as a sort of the lowest man on the totem pole, grunt, and
right. It's hard to imagine you as a grunt, but
I did.
Okay.
I washed people's underwear in buckets.
Oh,
yeah,
wow!
Like grunt. I'm telling you, grunt.
Wow.
But it was a big movie, and it was sort of my first foray into the world of costumes, and I fell in love. Actually, it was great.
Yeah.
I sort of apprenticed. Costume department sort of involves several different. There's many different things you can do. From the designer on down. And so I was able to work I did fittings, I helped the designer, I would work with the aider dyer, so I sort of got this really broad view of what it is to make the department run and how important it is to the look of a film or a movie, television show. So,
what was that movie? Do you remember?
I do. It was called Waterworld.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow, I bet there was a lot of underwear on that.
It was. It was fun.
Oh my goodness. And that film for ever. Right?
That's 166 days. I have a hat that says 166 Waterworld, and
wow.
I survived. Yeah, it's
that's quite a way to start.
It was. It was.
The costumes are raggedy, and
it was a fantastic introduction into this world, and I feel very fortunate. That was my first experience.
Dennis Hopper, Kevin Costner.
Not too shabby.
No, yeah, I worked with Dennis Hopper once. Yeah, he was great.
He is great.
Yeah. So, wow. So Waterworld brought
was
you
my
in,
start.
And so you survived that and thought this is.
Yeah, I just fell in love, and I just started working, and one thing led to another, and so
that's fun. You worked your way up.
I literally worked my way up. Yes,
me too.
I did. Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna knuckle bump.
Hey,
bang.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little people rise up sometimes.
Yeah, it's good. We shine.
We do.
So TV, entirely different than features.
Yes.
Much faster pace.
Much faster pace. I always sort of say if you can do episodic television, you can do anything because it's like making a little mini movie in 8 days.
Yes.
You
get 8 days to prep, and then bang.
And then bang, and then the ball keeps rolling because we start filming one episode. We have a script in theory.
Right. Sometimes things fall behind
for the next one, and it's just like this bullet train that just keeps going forward. So you have to sort of hit the ground running on episodic television.
So why is Dexter? You've often said Dexter is very fun to do. Why do you think Dexter's so fun to do for you? You've been here for a while.
I have been here for a while. It's been I think it starts from the top. I think the crew and the actors are amazing to work with.
Agreed.
I'm very fortunate that way, and we have everyone's super collaborative here, so that's really great for what I do. Scott Bach is really accessible.
He's the showrunner, right? Yeah.
And
he's very He's the kind of guy that I feel like he's the kind of showrunner that all these people are here because they know what they're doing.
Yeah, it's interesting because
there's different types.
I think that's one of the great things about the show is that everyone lets you do what you do.
Right.
And all the departments, they serve trust that you can make the vision come to life.
I think the only one that like Manny Cotto every once in a while will step in and say, like, can you make the waitress's outfit smaller?
The answer would be yes. It's showtime. You can make them teeny tiny. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's interesting too, huh? Working like premium cable. Mm-hmm. Different kinds of costumes you've had to. You've done strip clubs where it's been hardly any costume.
Yes, and even a nude scene actually requires a little bit of costume.
How so?
You'd be surprised.
Surprise me.
Tiny little bits of nude-colored spandex are employed, strategically taped in places so
Yes, to hide
actors
things.
are comfortable.
Like the sock. I was
The
one of
sock.
my episodes. We had somebody that had to wear a sock, and then his sock fell off. And he's like, "Should I keep going?" And I was like, "No, stop!"
We don't reuse
your
the
sock
socks.
on.
We give new
Good.
ones to, we throw them away after.
And
each
another
tape.
wonderful nude thing is the kill rooms when the victims are on a table.
Which you know something.
I
little
do
about.
know about. Yes,
Yeah.
I was in my trailer, and you laid out 2 different pairs of nude panties.
I
as
know.
you
We
called
have
them.
to sort of prepare people when they come in for fittings and they're going to be potentially a victim of some
Yeah.
sort. I have to, the disclaimer is that you will be wearing nude colored a
You
dance
called them
belt.
panties.
Panties, dance
did.
belt
Dance
is
belt,
the
yeah.
technical term for it, for the boys.
Yes.
And it keeps all your bits covered, and then you get wrapped in plastic. And it's funny, though, when a lot of people come in for their fitting and they know they're going to be a victim,
Yeah.
they're super excited.
Yes. Oh, you kidding me? It's like this weird small cadre of people.
Yeah,
that-
like I am a Dexter kill victim.
Yeah.
And it's awesome, and you sort of live in infamy naked.
Yeah. Jimmy Smits was in a while ago, and he talked about how amazing and fun that was. being
Yeah.
On the table.
I think it would be scary though, just to be sort of taped down and immobile, and I mean it takes a long time to film a scene, and you
does.
can't get up after they tape
No,
you down there.
You're
so-
terrified. They were saying the longest they ever had was 16 hours. They had an actor. I mean, he had like a break at lunch or whatever. But
Yeah,
That's no fun.
That's commitment.
People get upset.
yeah, you get a little squirrely, I would imagine.
So let's talk about costumes on Dexter.
Okay.
Season 8
Season
in specific. So I guess we should start with the man himself, Dexter Morgan. He wears very specific kinds of clothes.
Yeah,
You want to talk about Dexter Morgan, lab geek?
Sure. Dexter Morgan, Everyman, is sort of
Everyman. That's cool.
Everyman. Yeah, right. He sort of blends in with the Miami scene. We have a certain color palette on the show that we try to maintain, which is a little bit heightened.
Yeah.
Bright poppy colors, and so he basically wears a pair of khaki pants.
Right.
And then we have this whole color range of. I call it the ice cream sherbet sort of palette.
Right. There's a lot of pinks and light blues.
Pinks and lavenders, light blue, light green, just sort of Easter egg colors.
Yeah.
If you look at his line in the workroom, it's sort of like looks like a bunch of M&M candies or something. But
You
it's
can
sort
see it
of
in his
works.
closet too. Did you put all those clothes in the closet?
Yes, yes,
Yeah, and
we
they're
do.
all
Yeah.
they're lined up by color, by shade, by pants,
Yeah.
whatever.
It's sort of a uniform for him. It's easy for him to put on.
Yeah.
He knows who he is when he's got that with those particular clothes on.
He doesn't have to think about it at all. I
Doesn't
imagine,
have to
yeah.
think about it at all. And then to contrast with that, when he goes to
Wait, stop, quick.
Yes.
Shoes.
Oh,
Let's talk about those shoes.
You like his shoes?
But they're perfect for him. Like I wouldn't.
They're a little
I would never wear
dorky.
those. Yeah, exactly. I would never
Yeah.
wear those shoes. Those feel like, I don't know, like shoes my dad might wear or something.
He probably does.
Why do you think Dexter wears those? What was your story behind that sort of thing?
Sort of evolved from boat shoes because
Okay.
of his slice of life,
Right.
and we figured that would be a good basic shoe. He did start out at the beginning with sort of a lace-up loafer, which just seemed to take too much time.
Right.
It's like in the morning he doesn't want to. He wants to slip in his clothes and go.
Because he sort of doesn't care, maybe, or does he? What do you think?
I
When you think of his clothes.
I don't think Dexter puts much thought into his wardrobe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why, the kill outfit is what it has become, so iconic. And
Let's talk about that.
yeah.
The kill outfit.
The kill outfit. The kill outfit is sort of 2 parts. We have the stalking outfit,
Okay.
which consists of a Henley, an
Right.
olive-colored Henley, and cargo pants and boots.
Okay.
And he's worn the same boots actually since the pilot.
Oh my goodness.
This literally the same pair for 8 years. So they're beautifully worn in and scuffed and gorgeous. And we have multiples of those for stunts and different things. But the hero pair he's worn since the pilot.
Wow.
Yeah, they're awesome.
So they're special.
They're very special.
Yeah.
And then, so he'll wear that when he's sort of vetting people or he's following people.
Right. So late at night, sitting in his car, watching
Right before
a guy about a
he
bar.
M99s them.
Right.
And then usually he'll have a pair of black leather gloves or rubber gloves, depending on the situation.
How do you choose? Because a lot of times we don't.
No.
The only time we ever talk about clothes is Dexter in his kill suit breaks into blah, blah, blah.
Sure. A lot of it, truthfully, is Michael.
Okay.
Michael C. Hall will sort of. He knows Dexter so well at this point, so sometimes he won't wear gloves. It depends, but depending on what he does, if he's breaking into things, he probably would wear his leather gloves. If he's going to M99 someone, he probably wears his rubber gloves.
When he puts those black gloves on,
you know something bad's going to happen.
Yeah, it's great. It's scary. It's not just some dude going for a drive.
Nope. I think when you see the visual of him in the Henley and the cargo pants, the audience kind of goes,
yeah, it's like a superhero putting on his cape.
Something's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Something
it is.
good's gonna happen.
Yeah. So then, when Dexter's got a guy on a table,
yes,
things change.
Things change a little bit. It's now becomes the kill outfit, which consists of still the stalking outfit, which would be the Henley and the cargos. But then he adds a jumpsuit, which we made, custom designed and made.
So he wears that over.
He wears that over. Then he will wear his apron.
And by jumpsuit, it seems sort of military almost.
It is. It's olive green.
A pilot might wear it or something.
Yes, like a flight suit, actually. Yeah. He wears that over his cargos and his Henley.
How did that happen? The flight suit.
That was actually something that came about during the pilot.
Okay, so it's been there.
This is super iconic, and it's been from the beginning, and it's never changed, which is sort of remarkable.
It's funny. I don't remember the flight suit as much as I remember the stalking kill.
Sure.
Whatever.
I don't know if I think you have to be sort of an Uber fan to know the difference, but
they're out there.
I'm sure they're out there. And then we add a pair of arm gauntlets to cover up. They cover from his wrist to his elbow.
And that's
to protect from the blood.
Right. Doesn't want to stain his clothes.
Doesn't want to get it messy, which is why he wears the jumpsuit over his.
Okay.
Oh
yeah, that's right. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah,
it's all for protection. And then an apron and rubber boots.
And the apron is it leather or something? Black?
It is
leather-like.
It's leather-like, and we have several of them. Yes, we've made them several over the years.
Dexter's a very neat monster.
He's a neat monster. Yeah. We sort of figure that he just has the crazy amount of stocking outfit, shirts because they do have gotten very bloody over the years, and I don't think he washes them. He just throws them away, and
he's probably right, huh?
I think he has like a stash of.
Because the guy knows forensics, so he knows that blood sometimes stays for a while. You can't really wash it out.
So he's got an unlimited supply, apparently, of these things.
Probably orders it on Amazon.
Maybe.
Because it'd be weird if he was shopping at the same place for these. I need some more.
I know.
Several hundred more.
It's so funny, though, because sometimes there's been a few times where he's played scenes with other characters. I remember in particular one time, maybe it was season 3 or 4, where he wore his Henley and his cargo pants, and then he had a scene with Rita. Yeah. And I was sort of panicked because I said, but she's going to know, something's weird. And I said, well, then I realized we know as an audience when he puts that on that something's going to happen. But in reality, it is just a pair of cargo pants and a Henley, so it,
slightly warm in Miami, but not out of the ordinary.
Yeah, and she didn't even comment on it. She was,
There's been a few. Yeah, Deb. I think Deb saw him once before she found out. There's been a few times where he's been caught, but it's not like, why are you wearing a cape and tights?
It always made me sort of panic. They're gonna find out.
Fun. And then you said rubber boots, galoshes.
Galoshes, yeah. So he can. All of it, too, is disposing of the body, too.
Right.
It's going to protect him when he gets on the boat.
Yeah, because things get messy when he starts chopping bodies up. Mm-hmm. And then face guard?
Depending on what he does. And then certain kills, they sort of tend to have a theme. Yeah. Production design has been genius as far as tying in the victim with what their sort of life story is like, there was one time there was a kill table was a scoreboard and the guy was an athlete.
We talked about that was with Jimmy Smits. Yeah.
Yeah, things like that.
Oh, no, that wasn't. That was the beginning of 5 or 6.
I can't remember,
Yeah.
but then
The high school reunion.
Then there's certain things that Michael will bring in, like there was in that particular scene with the scoreboard was the kill table. There was also a big, I think it was a bear's head that was like the mascot for the school, and it just happened to be part of the set dressing. But Michael, in rehearsal, decided to put it on.
Yeah.
So that wasn't like originally part of the costume, but it ended up, it sort of evolved, and I thought it was magnificent.
The guy woke up looking down.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, things
It
like
is so
that.
collaborative here. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's why I think it's great.
Do people, sometimes actors go, can I try something else? Or pretty much?
We sort of work that out in the fitting.
Yeah.
I always feel like if the actor doesn't like it in the fitting, they're never going to like it when it gets time to film. So we
Right.
try to work that stuff out
You want them to be
beforehand.
comfortable. Right?
Yeah, and I don't really feel like, I feel like the last thing an actor wants to do right before they go film a scene is to think about their wardrobe.
Right.
I strive to have things feel organic to the character and have them feel like when they literally slip on these shoes, they become someone else, and then they don't think about it anymore.
Like LaGuardia.
Yes.
Those were some awesome costumes.
She was so fun to work with.
Her clothes. Yeah.
Yeah, she was great to work with. I miss her a
Yeah.
lot. Lauren
Yeah.
Velez, she's a good
If
lady.
only Deb hadn't killed her.
That was so tragic.
There was, right?
It was
Yeah,
very
it fun.
sad for me.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, she was fun to put together. I mean, and she's someone else that I was, had a very good working relationship with. That we would come up with these crazy things together. When we would do fittings, we would have this crazy rack of colorful clothes, and you wouldn't think any of it would go together. But we would sort of put these funny outfits together, and
Why? Why was? There was jewelry, lots of jewelry. I mean, we always were joking around about the jewelry.
Yeah, she was this, her character was Cuban, and she wanted to bring that little bit. I mean, in LaGuardia's head, Lauren and I would always talk about, like, LaGuardia thought she looked fantastic.
Yeah.
She, like, got up in the morning and she wanted to wear, like, this, she wanted to put on this suit of armor, so to speak, like this flashy. That's who she was. That's what felt professional to her. That's what felt working woman. That's what felt successful. So she... all of the sort of bling and the jewelry and the rings just made her feel, sparkly.
And it did. She
Yeah.
looked fantastic.
Yeah.
Deb. Let's talk
Deb.
about Deb. She's evolved a lot. When you think about Deb from first season, wearing the cop uniform and the sex suit, as it was called,
Yeah.
which is working undercover, to the Deb that we see in 5, 6, and 7, to the top of 8.
Yeah, I mean,
Want to talk about the evolution of Deb?
Sure. Well, we started out, she was on the force. She was a policeman, or a policewoman, I should say. And then we became a detective. We sort of had to come up with a look that would sort of be more professional for her.
Right.
But Deb's such a tomboy, so we sort of...
Because she's her dad. Because of her dad, I feel like, right? I mean...
Yeah, I mean,
she
she was
wanted
always
to-
trying to prove herself to Harry and sort of be noticed. And I think she thought if she worked hard enough and was a fantastic police detective, that he would, she could live up to the, the love she wanted from Harry. So we sort of came up with a look for her. She wore suits at the beginning. Like, she really doesn't have a great sense of style or sense of what looks good on her. Deb.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
saying.
odd that Dexter has a more sense of style than I guess because he had to study so hard to, like, how do I fit in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deb just didn't really ever quite get it right. And then when she became a detective and she was working in the field, and we sort of came up with a look that felt more real and more organic for her, was with jeans and boots, and we put plaid shirts on her. She wore those crazy plaid shirts, and then put a jacket over it because that felt professional for Deb. Like, she could put jeans and a t-shirt on, but as long as she had a jacket on, like a blazer, she felt like, okay, she could present herself at work.
There's lots of jokes about her boots and such.
Her man boots.
Her man boots.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, but that's, that kept
And
her
her gun.
grounded.
She kept her gun in the back of her
She did.
jacket. Yeah.
She did. And her waist.
In her waist,
and her
yeah,
belt.
yeah.
So we had big, thick belts for her. And then she got a little bit more together as we sort of evolved, years went on, and she started sort of evolving into, like, silk shirts and, like, camisoles underneath her blazers, and then this season.
Yeah, season 8. She goes and she kills LaGuerta, and her whole world starts crashing down around her. It does crash around her.
She falls apart. So we see a very different Deb at the beginning of season 8. She's come undone, literally.
Yeah.
And she's left the force, I guess I can say.
Yeah. Talk with me.
Okay. And and she's sort of found the bottle and found some, ways to relieve her stress and she's completely off the charts.
She looks like Fort Lauderdale or something.
She looks a little skanky.
Yeah.
Which was what we were going for.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. So we had fun, and I think it's a different Deb at the beginning of season 8, which is.
And it makes us worry, and it's great. And there she is in the middle of this, as we find out, working for Jacob Elway, this very put together, nice suits. I mean, really nice suits, right? They seem expensive. I have no idea.
They were expensive.
Because you guys get the real thing. We should make that clear, right? When it says well put together, we'll just write something in the script. Well put together, nice looking suits,
Sure.
Isaac and Jacob Elway.
Yeah.
And then you guys got to go well, okay.
Yeah, it's funny with men's clothes. It does make a difference. Like a cheap suit looks like a cheap suit.
Yeah.
A nice suit, an expensive suit looks expensive on camera. So you can't cheat that for some reason.
Yeah.
Women's clothes you can fudge a little bit. Men's clothes are a little bit. You get what you pay for, I think.
So she seemed it was great because she seemed sort of uncomfortable in Jacob Elway's place.
Yes, she was. And then she sort of had to step up her game a little bit. So that was a little bit of a transition from falling apart Deb and a pair of cutoff shorts and a T-shirt to how is she going to be a working girl again, but not a detective.
Right.
So so she's got a little bit, she gets herself a little bit more together as the season goes along.
Because it feels like, just, seeing the episodes, it feels like she has a little bit more money. And her clothes seem a little different when we see her professionally at Elway's. Yeah,
it is. I mean, she's got, she's still wearing jeans, but they're a little bit nicer jeans. She's got a little more feminine pair of boots that she's wearing with a little bit higher of a heel. She's a little bit sexier this season.
Yeah. Yep.
I think.
Agreed.
Yeah. Okay.
Rob G agrees.
Thank you for that.
Sexy Deb. Yay.
Batista. He has a uniform of sorts.
He does. He wears, those great fedoras and the great.
You have trouble finding all those? How many hats does he have?
I don't know how many hats he has he probably has at least a dozen.
Okay.
And every season we sort of weed out ones that are sort of tired and get him some new lids, and he loves it. It's great. Yeah,
he looks good in them.
He does.
And then he wears the shirts. What kind of shirts are those?
We do a lot of Tommy Bahama shirts on him,
right.
which are great. We sort of stayed away. At certain times he had crazy wild Hawaiian sort of prints, and since now he's the lieutenant, we've sort of toned him down slightly.
He still doesn't want to tuck in his shirts, though.
No, why would you? No.
It's uncomfortable.
No, he's got his, got to have room for the gun and the beer and all that stuff. So.
And the pants?
The pants. He wears pleated front pants, which, And he's got fabulous shoes. I don't know if anyone ever notices shoes, but he sometimes wears Spectators and two-toned, fabulous, navy and white Spectators.
So we should keep an eye out for Batista shoes.
Yeah.
All right.
You'll be a happy surprise.
Masuka.
He's fun.
Just wilder and wilder.
I know. It's so fun.
And it fits him. It's this is who Masuka is.
Yeah. If you look at his closet of clothes, it's that is a crazy person. Because it's just one crazy wild print after the other.
Yeah.
And
I used to dress like that when I was very short when I was growing up, and so in high school I would have those shirts, those crazy shirts.
You want people to see you.
You wanted people to see me. That's exactly what it was. It was I had to stand out in some way. Yeah. I look back in the pictures and I'm like, what was I thinking?
I think that's.
But it was personality, and I don't know.
I think that's a fair thing to say about Masuka. He wants look at me. He's he's of a certain stature where he wants people to notice him.
Yeah.
And one of the fun things that no one knows really about Masuka is that not only does he wear crazy shirts, but he wears crazy socks. So he has, we have, C.S.
awesome.
Lee and I have this little joke, the crazier sock I can get on him, the better. I gave him fish socks one time, and he was so excited because he does fish. He's a big fly fisherman, I think. So he was beyond excited about wearing the fish socks. But, they have hot dogs on them or fried eggs or something. But they coordinate with the shirt, so it's fun.
And then his underwear. We saw his underwear once when we saw his tattoo.
Yeah, leopard.
Leopard underwear,
course.
tiny little Italian-looking whatever.
Well, what do you think he's going to wear?
He's ready.
He's always ready.
Quinn.
Oh, yeah,
Talk about Quinn.
Yeah.
Do I sing Quinn? Quinn sort of has a uniform, too. He's has a darker color palette than most of the other characters. I think his character originally was from Boston.
Right.
So he brought that sort of more conservative sensibility. And he just wears, striped button front shirts, rolls his sleeves up, and a pair of gray pants, and he's a happy boy.
Yeah, he was saying that on the podcast. He was saying that Goodfellas.
Yes. The Ray Liotta character in Goodfellas. Yes, we've had several conversations about his love of Ray Liotta in Goodfellas. But that's
he can mimic him pretty good if he hasn't. Oh, you've seen. Okay, good.
He can, and then he wears a gold medallion. That's
what's that about?
A saint.
Which saint?
It's Saint Christopher.
Okay. What is Saint Christopher?
He carries Jesus across the river, I think.
Okay.
Protector.
Protector. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
So, as a nod to Joey Quinn being a Boston Catholic.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then Hannah has undergone quite a change this season.
She has.
Because last season, you dressed her all. I think most people would applaud you.
Thank you.
For how she was dressed. Let's talk about last season, how Hannah was dressed and why.
Yeah, well, she was new for us last season, and so when we sort of came up with the character, she worked in the greenhouse, and she needed a working wardrobe that made sense for Miami, and that she was labor, she worked physical labor. So we came up with sort of denim shorts, and she wore these great boots, and we could see her gorgeous long legs, and the sort of the signature thing, her black bra.
Yeah.
Which I think either people loved or hated. I sort of
tell us why. Tell us why the black bra. What were you guys thinking?
That was a happy accident. Yvonne Strahovski, who came for her first fitting, had a black bra on, and the fitting, and we had other bras for her, of course, but she tried on a few things with the black bra, and for some reason, she and I both said, I looked at her and I said, I'm sort of loving that black bra underneath that white shirt. Is that weird? And she's like, I'm sort of loving it too. So we sort of didn't know if it was going to fly. But when I showed, the fitting photos to Scott Bach, he was like, yeah, great. So it sort of became her thing.
Yeah.
And normally, that's something that would drive a set costumer crazy, that, seeing bra straps or seeing a bra underneath a garment is sort of like a no-no on film and camera. But I kept telling the set girls, no, it's okay.
Yes.
It's good.
Yes.
It's good. If her strap falls off her shoulder, it's fine. Yeah. It's good. So that sort of became her thing. So we just didn't worry about it. And people either really, really loved it, or I did get some tweets saying, can she stop wearing the black bra?
The answer is no. But the answer this season is yes.
Yes.
I like it. It signifies her as a bad girl, though, for season 7. Because
tell your thing. Yeah.
Well, in the original Psycho, for example, Janet Leigh wears a white bra, and then when she steals the money, it's black bra from then on, because she becomes a bad girl.
Well, and
it's just
we kept Hannah, first season, I put a lot of white on her, too. So the white, beautiful sort of silk blouse with this denim shorts and these sort of really industrial man boots, and then this black bra, I thought it was sexy.
Yep.
I agree.
Agreed.
I guess it was. That was so quick.
Huzzah, Kathleen.
Yes.
But when we see her this season, things have changed.
Things have changed. Well, Hannah's on the lam, so she's, and then we find out that she has adopted a whole new persona.
Right. Married a millionaire, multi-millionaire.
uber wealthy man, so she's got money.
Julian Sands,
Yeah. So she's got some money now, and she's playing the part of this wealthy man's wife.
Yeah.
So she's completely different when we first see her.
Yeah. That white dress.
The white dress. Yeah. I can't wait for people to see the white dress.
They'll have seen it by now.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Yeah, the white dress was phenomenal on her. Phenomenal. And I still, it was a good, I loved it because it fit her beautifully. And, but also that white was such a significant color for Hannah in the first season.
Right.
That she kept that part of her, but just transformed it into this more sophisticated character she was playing. And I just thought
everything looks expensive that she wears too. Yeah.
He had money, Joey. Yeah. Miles had money.
Is that fun for you guys? Like, how do you find this stuff?
Sure.
Because you guys don't you don't make it necessarily, or sometimes you do.
Sometimes we do. We that dress I found, it's an Alexander Wang dress, and it sort of fit her like a glove, and we decided to just go for it. And it had like tiny little fishing wire that was in the front bodice, and then I don't know if the shoes ever got on camera, but she had these gorgeous pair of orange Jimmy Choo high.
Them.
Well, I think every girl loved those shoes, but they actually had fishing wire on them also, so it echoed what was going on with the dress. And I was worried that it was going to make her too tall,
right?
Because she's quite tall.
She's taller than me.
And on camera, the height difference between her and the other actors, but it worked. I got those shoes on her, so I was happy.
Yeah, Wendy was sad. I don't think her feet are the same size. She was like, maybe I could get those shoes. No, not gonna happen.
No.
So you guys like created like a look, like for instance. So you find out that let's talk to the process of that costume for Hannah. That you read in the script and you see. That was for the party? That was when
it was for a
Club,
party
right?
at the Havana Club. So it was an opportunity for us to dress her up.
Right.
And so
you read it in the script, and then what do you do?
We'll first read a script. I'll break it down, and I'll see. First I'll go through the characters' closets here that we have, because we have quite an amassed thing of wardrobe at this point, season 8. But then things that I'm missing, pieces that I'm missing. I don't have this spectacular dress for Hannah to wear at this party, so I go out and I go shopping.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll scour the stores and I'll bring stuff back and we'll do a fitting. And when I saw that dress on the hanger, though, I just thought that was it.
So is it like you have like several options? Or?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have several options, but that seemed like the clear and obvious winner.
It's like a lookbook almost, or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, we had several choices, and there's an approval process, so I
What's the approval process? How's that work?
Well, I take fitting photos and send them to Scott Buck.
Yep.
And then he will say yay or nay or I love
we'll
it.
be sitting in the room, and he's got his iPad. He'll like, what do you guys think? And he'll show
he does.
us, and,
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
We enjoy that part.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
I'm glad. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Not all the time, but
Yeah.
certain things like that. Like that dress was one of those moments where he sort of showed everybody. And
Yeah.
because some people have bigger opinions than others.
I can imagine. I know. And everyone has an opinion about clothes. That's sort of, it's a little tricky sometimes what I do, because like everyone wears clothes and everyone thinks that they know clothes, and everyone has things that they like and for different reasons. But when I send out the fitting photos, I'll always put my favorites. I'll say, by the way, I like this the best.
Good.
What do you think? And
most times people agree with you, I imagine.
for the most part,
Like 95% of the time.
I would say, yeah.
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 Because you know what you're doing.
Thanks.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
We have to mention that we're sitting next to the jacket and mask of Ray Speltzer, the Minotaur killer.
Yeah.
And it's pretty unsettling. So,
Is it freaking you out that it's behind your back?
Yes, very much so. But it's a cool look. So I'm wondering, like, how
Well,
what's the most fun, like, villain character that you've gotten to tackle? Is that probably one of them?
Yeah, he was great. He was great to do. And that was something that was a process because in the script it just said Ray Speltzer wears a Minotaur mask. So what that
There's
meant...
a lot of arguments up in the room about that, too, about what that meant.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And when I first read it, I asked Scott, I was like, what does that mean? What is exactly, like, is it a full-headed mask? Is it, so that was what we came up with, but that was a work in progress because I also had to work in conjunction with Jessica, the production designer, because the sets were so limited in the space that they had to run through that maze that they made.
This is season 7 we're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, they made that maze that had all these jagged things and barbed wire and pieces of glass, and just logistically and physically, the actor had to be, whatever he had to wear, had to fit through that space.
Yeah.
So, so I worked with her on that, and then...
There's many masks, if I remember correctly.
There was.
We ran you through the maze.
We did. You did.
It's like, no.
But this mask that you're looking at right now was actually, it's all leather, and it was all pieces that we had here in the workroom, and we just cut pieces and molded them here, and that bull ring was something that I ran out to the special effects truck and said, do you have a metal ring that I could see, so... And those grommets are glued on. So that was stuff, and then we painted it, and that was all made here in the workroom.
And we'll show pictures of this if you check Icons Rob G and J. Scott Amy on Twitter. We'll have these pictures up for you.
Cool. And then the leather jacket.
Leather jacket is amazing.
Yeah, it's that we aged. We nicked it and we aged it because that was his sort of protection against all the barbed wire. But we figured how many times he'd run through this maze, it would have been scratched and nicked. So that's why it looks like that.
And he had leather pants, too.
Leather pants, leather boots. He had gloves. He was scary.
He was scary.
He was really scary.
Yeah, he did very well.
He was a scary guy.
Other favorites of the past, Isaac.
His outfit's right here, too.
Yeah.
Ray Stevenson.
Which just shows how huge Ray Stevenson is when you look at the jacket here.
Yes.
48 long, for all who want to know that. Yeah, he's tall. He's 6'4", and we ended
well
up...
proportioned.
I will not argue that. Yeah. That was a fun fitting because the original...
We're talking about Isaac, I'm sorry, from season 7.
Yeah, Isaac from season 7, when we first meet him. The first fitting... The concept was a little different. He was a little more flashy.
Right.
This Russian mobster. But when we had the first fitting, we came up with... I had all his shirts made because I had gotten his measurements before. So we made his shirts because you cannot buy a shirt that fits him off the rack. So all his shirts were custom made.
Wow.
And then we ended up making all of his suits also.
Wow.
And so we designed this double-breasted suit and a single-breasted suit, and variations of with different fabrics. And we decided to keep, because he's so tall and we didn't want to break him up, that we designed the pants with no belt loops, so Isaac never wore a belt.
Oh, wow.
A little tidbit.
Why that?
Just because it would break, I didn't want to break him up. I wanted to sort of play up his stature, how big of a man he was, and I didn't want to cut him in half with a belt. So if you look, Isaac doesn't wear a belt.
So you guys think about everything.
We try.
Yeah. You also have in here season 6, right?
That's the Whore of Babylon.
The Whore of Babylon.
I loved her.
If we work this out right, maybe we can get Rob G in that outfit. He'd look good in the pasties.
I don't think so.
It would fit.
So it was a mask you guys made. So you guys make make masks.
That mask I actually found.
Okay. Sort of a goat.
It was in a vintage store, and that was just a happy accident. And I just thought it was so bizarre and creepy. And that was actually the first thing I found, and showed that photo to Scott Buck, and I was like, "What do you think about this thing?"
And he was like, "Yes."
Yes. I'd sort of draped. I hadn't made it yet, but I had draped the fabric on the mannequin as an idea, and. He came down and was like, "Wow, I hadn't had that in my head, but now that I see it, I think you should go for it."
Yes, that happens a lot. I think, I bet, on TV, like, because we do have sometimes very specific things in our head that are silly when you show us what we should be doing.
Well, no, I mean, that's why I like the process because, you know, it is in your head. The vision is in a writer's head. So I always find it really satisfying when you guys are happy.
Yeah, which is a lot.
Because, you know, that's what we try to do, sort of visualize your concept. And when you guys are happy, then that's a good thing.
One other character we should talk about for season 8 would be Dr. Vogel.
Miss Charlotte Rampling.
Miss Charlotte Rampling.
Yes.
Yes, a very refined European woman. Yeah, who's done a lot of things. She's wore a lot of different costumes. When we first got her, she was in like the Night Porter, in which she wore like the Nazi hats and topless and the suspenders.
She goes for it.
I didn't realize that was her until right now.
Yeah, that was her. Yeah.
Yeah, no, she was great. I love working with her. She was a phenomenal actor to work with. She was very collaborative. We had a great first fitting. I mean, sometimes, you know, takes a couple times when you're trying to work out a character.
Yeah.
But we had a great first fitting.
So why does she wear what she wears?
Just, I really envision her in my head as this very elegant woman that spent money on her clothes but wasn't super flashy, but just had really impeccable, elegant taste. And so...
So it would explain the what are they, the nude Louboutins?
Yes, of course she would have nude Louboutins. Because they make your leg look long.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
Just, but she was fun to dress. And Charlotte, you know, is a woman of a certain age, but she's super sexy.
Yeah.
So I wanted to have her character exude some sexiness too. So we put her in very sort of form-fitting dresses and high heels and trench coats, and I think she looks
You never dressed her
fantastic.
menacing either, which was interesting.
No, I wanted to keep her feminine.
Yeah.
You know, she sort of has assumed this maternal role in Dexter's life, and I wanted her to be soft. I didn't want to make her hard.
Right.
So,
because she does have a certain presence, so it is good to offset that, because she could come off as very menacing or hard or whatever. So,
we tried to play up the feminine, you know, really put her in a lot of skirts and high heels, and when she's at home, she's super relaxed. You know, she has this little pair of flats she wears and sort of silky blouses. So tried to keep her soft and feminine and sexy.
Is there any other characters we should talk about for season 8 that you're particularly proud of? Because we had Ron Galuzzo.
Named after me.
Sort of. Yeah.
I'm
Is that happy? Yeah.
I think off the top of my head, I know we're in the mix of
Yeah.
season 8, and I can't. My brain is a little fuzzy at this moment.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride this season. I think that covers like pretty much all the big characters and the things that they wear and why they wear them.
Yeah. It's been a great ride. I'm sad it's over.
Me too. Yep.
I know.
It's been quite a family. We've been here for a long time, a lot of us, right?
I know. You've been here for the beginning too, right?
I came halfway through this first season, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. As a writing assistant and clawed my way up. Yep.
Look at you.
Yeah. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for walking us through costumes.
Thank you for
If there's
having
people
me.
out there that want to do this for a living, what would be the thing you would say, this is what you should do? Other than wash underwear in buckets.
I know. That's, yeah. Well, you can always start there. That's what I would say. Yeah. And I feel like no job is too small. When you want to do this, you should take whatever opportunity you have and grab it, and then work hard for it.
Yep. Thank you so much, Kathleen Felix-Hager. Yeah.
Thank you.
Costume designer for Dexter.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. There we go.